Hello, everybody. Welcome to another review of the Oval. Give me a second to get my notes up here, and we will get started. All right. So, Lily, she has to pretend like she doesn't know what is going on, like she doesn't know what this location is, and in front of the president and all that. But once Hunter walks away, and we'll get to Hunter's idiocy in a second. Once he walks away, Donald's like, well, what are you doing here? And blah, blah, blah. And he also threatened Kyle over Dale. If I see you with him one more time, I'm gonna, and all this stuff. And I'm like, Donald, be quiet. You're not gonna do a thing. I don't think he's gonna do anything. And Dale does not even want Kyle. All he wants from Kyle is to be left alone. So, let me just get into Hunter. Because Hunter is so stupid. He was like, wouldn't it be cool if we found some body parts? And I'm like, how old is Hunter? Because he's sounding real childish right now. He's like some kid playing a video game, Grand Theft Auto or one of those numbers, and just, being excited by all the carnage. Which they're not going to find any body parts because we know that Max and Bobby escaped. Um, so he wanted to impress Ellie with all of this. And so they're in the limo, and he's trying to get her to do it in the limo, and she's like, "No, I'm not your whore." And I'm like, "Yeah." Now, sleeping with someone who is married, and doing it in like the office and all of that mess, that does come off a little bit whorish, but okay. If that's what Ellie does, if Ellie doesn't want to see it that way, that's how she's just gonna see it her way. Anyway, so Ellie has a problem with how cavalier Hunter is being about this drone strike, and he's like, "But it's so great! It's like the first a drone a hit on domestic soil." Blah blah blah, and she's looking at him like, "Yeah, this is not something to be excited about." And the idiot said he thought it would be romantic. Now I'm like, how is that romantic? And second, is Hunter getting more out of this than he really should be? He's saying romantic and all that, and clearly Ellie is just doing this to get to the top. She does not like Hunter like that. But Hunter is saying he thought that a drone strike would be romantic. I mean, that's stupid itself, but it's like, is he? It just makes me think that he's getting more out of this than Ellie is giving. So let's talk about Donald. So he's he makes Lily ride with him, and he's questioning her about the cabin, what she was doing there, and all of that. And he's basically just taunting her that Bobby is dead. And he's like, well, now because he went, and she just tells Donald he was more of a man than you, and bigger, bigger too. So yeah, so she went there, and clearly Donald did not like it. So Donald, he doesn't want Lily to have anybody, and he doesn't want Kyle to have anybody. So he just wants to have everything his way. And I'm like, somebody drone Donald because he's getting on my nerves. So at the safe house that Max and Bobby are at, Max's friend, she has a contact, General Max, that she thinks can help. That name is gonna come. That name is gonna come up again. So just hold tight. So Richard, they're on the way to the compound, the Rakadushi compound. And Richard's asking Dale questions about the clone. He said, and Dale's like, well, like he said before, I don't really know much about them. I just know that when they come into town, they come off of that road right there, and it's about 30 minutes or so from where they were at that point. And so Dale gets to talk about his family and how they were saying they wish that AIDS had hit that he was born earlier so that AIDS would have taken him out and saved them the embarrassment. Just horrible, horrible stuff. Um, I mean, and Tyler can come up with this really crazy, sort of stuff. These crazy like insults from family and all that. He comes up with all that in all of his shows. It's crazy. Um, So we get back to Jody. So she's outside her house and she's looking at Priscilla. So she's watching Priscilla sit in her car outside Nancy's house. Priscilla sitting in her car outside. She looks bad. So Nancy, she comes and she gets Priscilla to come inside. And all the while, Priscilla's walking in and she's looking at Jody like she wants to tell her to shut up. And Nancy's like, Jody, Priscilla's fine. I got this. So they get inside and they have some wine. And, Nancy's pouring the wine. And Priscilla's like, pushing the ball like more, more. And so she tells but first, Nancy's like saying, well, I'm trying to explain to Richard and say that I'm sorry, but he just won't get over it. And Priscilla's like, can you blame him? Well, I know, but that was such a long time ago. And I'm like, it doesn't matter if it was a long time ago. Having a baby by your husband's father is bad. And when it comes out, that's a lot to process and it's a lot to forgive. And, some people might not forgive that. And that would be hard to forgive. So, anyway, Priscilla tells Nancy that Sam is having an affair. And Nancy, first thing she asks is it that Frida bitch? And Nancy just wants to put something on Frida because she tried to read Frida and Frida was like, yeah, I'm not trying to do all that with Richard. And Richard shut that down like, Nancy, leave it alone. And Priscilla's like, no, it's an agent. So she's not ready to, tell it's the first lady. Um, and Priscilla, she mentions this General Mark that Max's friend had mentioned. And so this person seems like or this character that we have not seen yet, seems as if they may play a pivotal role in this show. So I'm ready to see what they're going to do. And so apparently Sam looks up to this person, so does Richard, and I guess they're just very influential. So Lily, she gets to talk to Bobby a little bit, and but that doesn't last long because Max's friend is like, no phone calls, and she just shuts down the connection. Which is for the best because Bobby is just doing a little bit too much talking, and and they don't need to have their location traced because they just escaped getting blown up. So Bobby needs to stop talking to Lily at this point because I don't think Lily can keep. I don't think Lily is the best person to talk to because she can't keep their location safe if she were to find it out because she's going to want to see Bobby. and talk to him, and and Donald's gonna be tracking her and tracing her and everything. But anyway, so Jason, he's got to antagonize Victoria about Hunter and Ellie. Did you see this on TV? And she sits down like, what is he doing? And he's on the television. Hunter's on the television. Ellie's standing right next to him, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. It's so obvious what is going on because the press secretary would not be standing up with the president like that. It just would not happen. So it was very obvious what's going on, and Jason's like, well, she might be the one to take your place, and Victoria's like, shut up, go to your room. And he's just like saying, no, no, I won't. And finally, he just says, okay, fine, with your hot breath. Victoria checked her breath. So that was funny. So then Jason, he wanted to call up Alan and annoy him about Ellie, and he's trying to get him to still trying to get him to do something. He's like, if you want this job, you need to listen to me. And I'm like, what job? I guess he's still trying to get Alan to kill his parents. And Alan's like, I'm hanging up, and Jason's like, I am the first son. You are not allowed to hang up on me. And Alan's like, watch me. Click. So Richard, he gets out there to the compound, and he's asking all these questions. Of course, the Rakadushi guard is like not giving no kind of information. And Richard finally says, okay, but I'm going to come back, and I'm bringing reinforcements. And so the guard's like, are you threatened? Do not threaten me with the white man's government. And I'm like, give it a rest with all of that. So, Richard's really in over his head, and the ending really demonstrated that. So, Victoria went over there to Alan's office, and she's trying to get information, and he's not giving her anything. And she tells him, well, if you had any sense, you threaten her. You get her by the throat and threaten her within an inch of her life, and you keep her away from Hunter. And yeah, so that was that. Victoria, she's really wants to be rid of Ellie, but I don't think she's getting rid of her anytime soon. So So let's get to so and then Bobby and Max, they end up talking about, somehow they end up talking about, taking out Hunter. And it's like, okay, well, what we're talking about, that's really big stuff. And so we'll see where that goes. So we get to the ending, and Richard is driving back with Sharon and Dale, and this vehicle comes up and runs them off the road. And of course, I'm pretty sure this was a Rakadushi vehicle, ran them off the road. So yeah, that's how it ended. I thought that was a pretty good ending. Um, I was glad that something of substance happened. So we'll see where this goes. So that was my review. Tell me what you think, and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you the next time. Bye.